This next part of the Mk3 build, we probably had it planning for as long as Sam's had the car. So we knew it probably obviously it needed a bit of welding, obviously, and we found out in the strip down it needed more than we did originally thought. But the idea was always going to be get it in the air, flip it over, and be able to clean up underneath. And obviously, no one wants to have the car on stand or even on the ramp to be able to grind it and chiseling and basically wire wheeling away rust and crap from underneath it. Easiest way to do it for is when you're standing upright. So we had a look. Obviously, you could buy rotisseries for cars, but they're about 400 quid. About 400 quid. And we ain't paying that. All it is box section welded and bits bolted together with casters. So we had a look for the scrap piles and stuff that we had kicking about from down here at the yard. Sam bought a few more meters of 50 by 50 box and some casters, and pretty much this is where we're at. So I can flip it around. And also I've got a using my new gimbal that Laura got me as a present for Christmas, so bear with me if it doesn't quite look 100%. So what we've got is an A-frame section that bolts to the chassis here, using obviously the stock location where the legs come out the front. The same as at the back. Obviously we've got a little pin, equivalent of a pin that comes out of it. Obviously then the A-frame, the truss of the whatever you want to call it, that comes out, and obviously what the cast on the floor is mounted on. There's going to be, or is that the pin there? Okay, you have.
That's just what I was using for now. It's a bit.
Yeah, I'd say that. So that's where it pins to hold it. Also, as we spin it round, we'll be able to drill exactly where it's going to be. We'll drill a couple more holes to hold it. So this section here is pretty much done. See there, Sam's just on with making this new section for the backside. Basically, an exact copy of that one there. Obviously, we've got the MIG out, so it's turned off for the moment while I'm filming this. Some more angle and bits and pieces, and obviously the back section of where it's going to be mounted there.
So it goes inside the chassis legs, that one.
So this one here, particularly obviously for this part, obviously is made for a Mk3 Golf, but we've got all sorts that we do work on, be it obviously the Lupos and the Mk4 platforms, the Golf and TTs. So probably going to end up, well, the Lupo I imagine is going to be the next one, possibly to do, but for now we're making it so it's unboltable and comes apart, and we can just hide it in the containers or up here and out the way.
So in theory, the only thing that we need to make for each car is the adapters for the front chassis legs, the rear chassis legs, and then we can throw it on anything basically.
After Sam's finishing this, the back section, the next bit is just work out exactly what we're going to use and how we're going to make it, obviously because this middle section can be alter in length, so we need a way to, be it nut and bolt, be it clamped and sleeved, we're not quite too sure yet. We do have a lot of material laying around, so that's probably the easy part of the whole job. As soon as the back bit's done, we can then evaluate it from there. But that's pretty much it's coming on well, and hopefully in the next 20 minutes or so, Sam's going to have this bit done, and I can get another shot back of how it looks like. Sam has now finished fabbing up this rear section. That's in and all done. We haven't made the bottom part just yet, but that's on the next on the list. But first, Sam had to remove the boot because he forgot to make sure it was shut before, so basically making the mount and bolting it all up. So it was.
I needed it off because I got full bare shell on it.
Yeah, it's easy just to take off a couple of 13 mils. So it's down loose, and I'll let these two, with me standing quite far back, and this is what you call the moment of truth. Take the pin out, have a go at spinning. Let's see if they made it tall enough.
Nuts and bolts and everything.
We've got an engine mount, scuttle tray, we've got sockets in the scuttle tray.
Oh, that's where I left it.
I'd throw all the crap out from inside.
I think so.
Just loose bits. Right, take two.
I made it tall
You got that second, Sam?
Yeah, but I'm kind of just leaning on it.
How far up are you actually wanting to go?
Don't know. Someone want to drill a pinhole?
Probably where I should come in handy, so I'm going to put this down and come back in a moment.
There it is.
So that was a little bit of a ball ache. I'm glad that, well, half of me's glad I didn't get that on record because there was some sketchy and some bomb twitchy moments. We ended up having to get the engine crane under the sill up there just to sort of hold the car because it turned out Sam did not drill this side. So we had to do that while the three of them were holding the car in that sort of orientation. But never fear, it's done now. 10mm is in each side and it's being held. It seems solid enough. We'll give it a couple of shakes. It hasn't fallen off, so we're going to count that as a win for now. Next bit on the list, we've taken the fuel tank out before anyway. We've got to take the beam off while it's alright. Sam's just got to take all the handbrake cables off, drop that straight off, ready to come out and get it stripped down for coating. We've got some new poly bushes to go back in it. We've already done the stub axles and done another set of calipers to go, well, the 256 rears that will go on this.
Converted to Mark 4 rear setup. So it's a seal bearing rather than the taper bearing that the Mark 2s and 3s run.
The floor pans, the extent here of how bad they are. Sam did buy a pair of floor pans, and this is one of them that's arrived.
Out of stock, so I'm presuming that's why only one's turned up this week.
But we're not overly impressed with these. They are very, very, very poor, really. And if I knew they were that bad, we probably would have looked at getting a cut from an actual car that was in better condition than this one. But yeah, that is the other thing. But yeah, I guess something is, well, if you can say that something's better than nothing, but the way they're pressed, I mean, all the metal is creased. For the middle there, it's dented where it should be flat. Well, that could be transit, or that could be after how they produced it, who knows. But I am not the welder fabricator, that's Sam's problem to deal with.
I'll probably just use cuts out of them rather than using the full panels. I was hoping to just cut everything out and put a new panel in, but they are not up to the spec of what I want, so I'll just cut good bits out and make everything else. I've got all the equipment on me.
The subframe's coming off, obviously that'll get put in the blast cabinet, get that, probably may get that sent off and get zinc plated, and then paint coat it afterwards.
There's a couple of little repairs like that one that we need to do where they pull the bolt out, random tech screws that we need filling in, general repairs after a life of mistreatment.
But we're looking not too bad. This can get on and get the work done now. So I guess it's now we can say the real work starts, eh?